So obviously we see USA trying to tackle this EV solution quite hard, and they've actually added tax reductions of up to $7,500 per car for companies that meet certain requirements and restriction and pass certain parameters. And they have just approved a $2.8 billion fund for EV battery and mineral production in the US that will allow them to kind of bring the car production process in-house and provide car manufacturers with the opportunity to source these raw materials directly from the USA, increase their net revenue obviously from these particular components, but also allow them to better operate in trying to achieve this tax reduction, which is an incentive for car manufacturers to produce electric vehicles. But to say to everyone, hey, here's a carrot, go produce electric vehicles, is great until there's not enough materials to go around to actually produce all of these electric vehicles. And that's exactly what this fund is for, is to start the production within the USA. And it's not the only initiative. As I said, Biden approved a $2.8 billion fund, but BMW has just approved a $1.7 billion fund just for BMW to produce EV batteries in South Carolina. So you see all these big companies are trying to bring their production into the USA to claim on this rebate. I mean, $7,500 per car is a lot of money if you're making 100,000 cars a year.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a lot of money.
It is.
So that's where this incentive is coming from, and BMW taking it on their own to just say, well, we'll just make a battery factory in South Carolina and move our car production straight into the USA, because a lot of these companies, these vehicle companies, aren't producing their cars inside of the USA. And in order to claim on that tax benefit, they have to be producing inside of the USA. So that's obviously how this process is going, and it's looking pretty positive. I mean, $4.2 billion or $4.4 billion going into battery manufacturing for EV vehicles is very positive, opposed to let's make more petrol-based cars.
Yeah.
And they have quite an infrastructure for recharging, especially with Tesla's recharging stations and all these other companies also creating these recharging stations. I'd love to see some of this in South Africa, and that's obviously where South Africa is now trying to compete, as we mentioned earlier in the show, with their 128 billion rand renewable funding for electric vehicle production in South Africa. The only difference is, I mean, I don't know where we're going to see electric vehicle charging stations during load shedding.
Yeah.
I don't know where the power. You can't put that on a battery.
Listen, imagine you've got this a vehicle charging station at a mall or somewhere, and just behind it there's a generator.
It's like, you know how big that generator has to be. It has to be.
Wouldn't that be? I have to take a photo of it if I ever see that, because how ironic.
The irony: petrol to battery, battery to car, renewable.
That would be brilliant. That would be a brilliant photo.
That would.